Hey guys, Kenneth for the series premiere of the new ABC comedy Speechless. This is Season 1, Episode 1, Pilot, and I was definitely looking forward to this first episode, mainly because of the fact that ABC, recently has really been killing it when it comes to these family comedy shows. And what I mean by family comedies is taking unique families, families that have something different about them, or some sort of eccentricity, I don't know how to pronounce that word, but something eccentric about them that isn't the same from your normal family. I think they've really been killing it with these family comedies, such as Blackish, or Fresh Off the Boat, or something like that, Real O'Neills, and Speechless looked like it was going to be another great addition to that, and I have to say that that is exactly the case. And by the way, yes, this show hasn't premiered yet. It premieres at 8:30 tonight, but I was able to watch it because it's already on the ABC Go app if you guys want to check it out. But I was definitely looking forward to the show, and I have to say that that is exactly what it is. Speechless is, in fact, another great entry for ABC Comedies. I really love this show overall. I thought it was very well done, very funny, and also very heartwarming, really, to get the point across. But let's get to the plot of Speechless overall, which I really do love the plot of the show. Basically, we focus on the DeMeo family. Basically, what's going on is Maya DeMeo, Minnie Driver's character, she wants to make the best life for her son, JJ, and where they are right now is not really the best place. They're kind of in this middle-class neighborhood that they really are not a fan of, and basically, she wants JJ to be taken seriously, and JJ finds a way where he doesn't want to be in, this, he doesn't want to be in a special school anymore. He wants to go to a public school and get an aid, and she decides to transfer the entire family to a new household and a new city neighborhood, and that basically is the plot of the show overall. And there's a lot more to the show than that, but let's get into the show overall, starting off with the cast. Now, without a doubt, one of the things that will definitely compliment ABC on, and the show on in general, is their cast. They always find a great cast to play these families, and this cast is no exception. In fact, this is probably one of the most promising casts I've seen for any comedy so far this fall, and Minnie Driver, I was definitely looking forward to seeing in this show. I mean, I've seen Minnie Driver in many things, but just from the trailer, she really looked like she was going to be very funny, and the character of Maya is a very layered character. You can tell she's the type of mother that really is dealing with a very unfortunate circumstance. Her son does have cerebral palsy, but she's doing whatever she can to give him the best life she can. And by God, the lengths that this woman goes just to get her son to be taken seriously is pretty hilarious and pretty impressive as well. It's really good parenting, and I really love what she did on this show. And what I love about her character is that she's very focused just on JJ, and sometimes she has to put her needs over some of her other kids. We'll get into that, but I really love what she did. She was very funny, and I thought in this first episode, she definitely stole a lot of the show. I thought that she was great. I really loved her character. And then her husband, John Ross Bowie, Jimmy, who plays Jimmy in the show, didn't leave a huge impression on me. He didn't have a ton to do in this episode, but I will say, when he was funny, damn was he funny. He had so many funny lines in this episode, and there is one scene, I'm not going to spoil, but it involves him in a shower. I was in hysterics. I mean, it was so funny. I thought he did a great job, and he's one of those actors where he doesn't have a ton to say, but when he has something to say, it is damn hilarious. And when I say he made me laugh, he really, really made me laugh. He was very funny. The chemistry between Maya and Jimmy overall I thought was very good. They worked very well together. We didn't see a ton of them, just the two of them in this episode, but when they worked together, they worked very well, and I definitely really did like the way that they were in this episode. I thought they worked very well together. Definitely, I really liked their characters. And then Micah Flower, who plays JJ, I think did a very good job in the show. I really love what he had to do here, because I don't know if he has cerebral palsy in real life, but he really is a very good actor, I have to say. I mean, if he doesn't have cerebral palsy and did a very good job, I believe he does. But JJ as a character is a very interesting character, because yeah, he does have cerebral palsy, but he kind of just acts the way you or I would, and he really did a very good job. He was very funny and just really impressed me overall. I think he's really going to go far, and especially someone who has cerebral palsy, the amount of just, the amount of I can't think of the word right now, but the amount of range he had, there's the word, range in this role, I think is really damn near impressive. I really love what he did in this first episode, and I can't wait to see what he does as the show goes on, and he definitely did a very good job. However, he's not the one that impressed me the most. Actually, my favorite character in the show, and who I think stole this entire first episode for me, was Mason Cook as Ray DeMio. I've seen Mason Cook before in that horrible movie, If There Be Thorns. Really was not a fan of that, as you guys know. I thought he did a great job here. I really love this character of Ray, because Ray is the middle child of the family, and he very much feels like it. He feels like he's kind of out of place. He's trying to find his place in the world, and he has to abandon everything he cared about, which he did have friends, and he did have stuff in that town he actually really appreciated. And he also feels like his mom doesn't really seem to care much about the needs of her other children. She only seems to want to provide for JJ, and I really like seeing the struggle that he endured throughout this first episode, and I thought his character overall, you really did fall in love with his character. I think in general you fell in love with the family, but his character in general I thought was very relatable. It's not necessarily to me, because I'm an only child, but just the struggle that he's going through, you know, with the girl liking him, things like that, I thought was a lot of fun to see. I really love what his character did here, and to me, he is my favorite character on the show. I really love what he had to do here. I thought the dynamic between him and Maya was really great. The way that Maya showed that, no, I do care about you, is definitely really great, and I love what he had to do on the show. He overall, I think it's going to be a lot of fun too, because you can tell that he's one of those kind of kids that he wants to get what he wants, and this girl, even though she has a boyfriend, he's going to do whatever he can to sweep her off her feet, and I can't wait to see what he does with that. I thought he was a lot of fun to watch in this first episode, and I can't wait to see what else he does as the show goes on. The only person who didn't leave much of an impression on me in this first episode was Kyla Kennedy as Dylan, who is their daughter in the show. Not that she was bad, I just didn't really see much from her, because she only had, I think, about a few scenes in this episode, and none of them really were anything that big, but I thought she did a really good job. Who I really did love, though, was Cedric Yarborough as Kenneth. This guy's hilarious. I really loved his character. I believe he's the janitor at the school of sorts, or something like that, but he's at the school in some way, and basically, JJ sees how fun Kenneth is and how normal he treats JJ, and how JJ really wants to be, you know, have someone that actually takes him seriously and just treats him like a normal kid and not someone that has special needs, and he actually is going to become his, speaker and the thing that's really going to help him. So I can't wait to see what he does in the show. I thought that he was a lot of fun to see. I really like his dynamic with JJ overall, and I can't wait to see the way that develops. But overall, like I said, this is by far one of the most promising new casts I've seen of any show so far. I think they all did a great job, and even someone like Kyla Kennedy, who, like I said, didn't leave much of an impression on me, still did a great job, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the show, what the rest of the cast does over the course of the show. The directing in the show I thought was very well handled, because what I really love about the show is that, yes, it is funny, but it's also very heartwarming. You do get those nice, you know, tender moments in the show that I really enjoyed seeing, and you can see that while you do have the son who has cerebral palsy, you're supposed to see this as a normal family. You know, there are families like this out there, and the way the show is touching upon it, I think is honestly kind of ballsy, especially when you get to the screenplay, because it's a very difficult subject to capture, especially when it comes to something like, you know, someone who's disabled. You could really offend a lot of people. I think they did a really good job in this first episode of not actually doing that, because one of the biggest parts of this first episode is JJ wants to be treated like a normal kid. I think anyone who has a disability wants to, but I think, you know, everyone, when we see people who are disabled, we kind of don't treat them like that because we know they're disabled. But JJ wants to be treated normal, and he wants to be treated like his other, you know, classmates and things like that. And that's why I really love the way they handled the storyline with the one that was going to do the speaking for him. I thought that was the speaker. I thought that character, no, you're not supposed to like her. And I thought they did a really good job of showing that she's the exact opposite of what the show wants. You know, JJ does not want someone who's going to treat him like he has something wrong with him, because I think he really wants to be treated like he's above that he's just a normal kid. And I really did like what the show had to say about that, and what the show in general has to say about parenting as well. I thought was very interesting, because while we do focus on JJ, a lot of this episode revolves around Maya as a parent, because like I said, Maya has kind of forgotten to provide the needs of her other children, and I really did like seeing that scene where she tells, you know, Ray, just straight out that I didn't mean to abandon you. I was just very caught up with JJ and that I very much care about you. I thought it was a very good scene overall. In general, though, she is definitely a fun member to see, but I like the way that dynamic is done. I can't wait to see the way that that is throughout the course of the show, and I thought that overall was very impressive as well. And the show was very funny. I was laughing very much a lot throughout this first episode. I thought it was very funny overall. Like I said, some moments had me dying. Some moments, yes, got a little laugh out of me, but definitely towards the second half, I laughed consistently throughout the show. I thought it was very funny, and what I do like is that they never make his cerebral palsy any punchline of the jokes. You know, yes, he has cerebral palsy, but again, they treat him like he's normal. And a lot of shows nowadays would treat that as a joke. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. You can, you know, some shows can pull off offensive humor really well. With something like this, though, I'm glad they're taking it seriously. I'm glad that they're not, you know, trying to make fun of it. And I'm glad that they're not really trying to offend anyone. They are there to make you laugh, but they're also there to get you to care about this kid and show there are families like that out there. And I think this was a very realistic portrayal of the way that would be done. Overall, guys, I really love this first episode. There's not much else to say. I basically said all I wanted to say about it. I just really enjoyed it overall. I encourage you guys to check it out. I'll put it simply, if you enjoy Blackish or Fresh Off the Boat or, you know, one of ABC's family comedies, you'll most likely really enjoy this show. I think it's very realistically portrayed. I think it's very funny, but at the same time, just as heartwarming. It doesn't forget to have that family dynamic in there, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where the show's going to go from here, because I do want to explore some of the characters more, especially, you know, Kyla Kennedy's character, because I haven't seen much of her in the show, and maybe do a little more with Jimmy as well, because we didn't see a ton of him in this episode, but like I said, he did have some funny stuff. But overall, guys, in my review, let me know what you guys thought of this first episode overall. Love to hear your thoughts on it, and I will see you guys in my next video, which will be for the series premiere of The Lethal Weapon. I don't know how this is going to be, but I'm going to check it out, and I will give you guys a review of that, but we'll have to see how that turns out, because I really don't know how that's going to be, but I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.